Hey guys, Bill Ladd, Duckett Ladd CPAs and Advisors. Man, hope everybody's hanging in there, doing as well as possible. Hey, today is April 1st, 2020, and I wanted to hop on here because last night the Fed and the SBA rolled out some really good guidance on the Paycheck Protection Program. And guys, this thing is developing and happening fast. Give them a lot of credit. They really are working around the clock to try to streamline this. I think they understand that this money needs to get in the hands of small businesses sooner rather than later, so they can get people back on the payroll, so those people can pay their bills and we can keep the economy going while we're trying to battle this COVID-19 virus. So I wanted to jump in here real quick and let you know some of the changes, kind of let you know what's stayed the same and what's changed to our understanding. Again, this is a very fluid situation. We wanted to push out data based upon what we know today, again, April 1st, 2020. By the time April 3rd rolls around, there may be more guidance that will clarify some things, but did want to take a minute to show you what we know as of today. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick. And we're going to jump in. Paycheck Protection Program, you guys all know about this now. It's 1102 of the CARES Act, and this is as of April 1st. And we do have some good information we want to share with you. All right, again, guys, this is a $350 billion loan program for small businesses. This is something that Secretary Mnuchin has indicated is a huge priority for him. Right now, the funds are capped at $349. The form itself says you might want to hop in line because it is a set funding. Today on CNBC, he indicated that this would be his top priority if those funds run out. So again, there's no way to know how quickly these go, and if they do, whether they will be replenished. But again, indications are that he understands how important this is to small business, and he's committed to taking it to Congress to fight for whatever he can to get this money and beyond for businesses. So again, there's going to be some decisions you're going to have to make about when to apply for this. So I'd tell you to talk to your advisor about that. Okay, guys, a couple things. It is 100% federally guaranteed. Obviously, we've talked about that in the past. The goal there was to expedite the underwriting. It seems like that is working. Loans will be made through FDIC insured banks. They are learning this thing rapidly. They are in training all day today and tomorrow to understand how this works. And they're going to be the ones that are actually going to calculate out the eligible amounts based upon the documents that you submit. The application does have you estimate out, but our understanding is the bank's going to take the documents you submit, the support, so to speak, and calculate it for you. Small businesses and sole proprietorships, you can begin applying this Friday, April 3rd. Independent contractors and self-employed individuals, you begin on April 10th. A week later, we'll allow them to get that infrastructure in place. No changes here. Loans made between 2/15/20 and 6/30/20. It is still non-recourse. There's no personal guarantees. There's going to be no fees collected from the borrower. Again, the Fed's going to pick up the tab. It does still remove the requirement that you could get credit elsewhere. They want to, again, open this up to small businesses who are suffering because of COVID-19. Okay, here's one big change, guys. Portion not forgiven will have a maturity of 2 years. Previously, that was not more than 10. So obviously, if for some reason you're not able to have a chunk of this forgiven, that is a much quicker turnaround, 2 years versus 10. So that's going to be a consideration. Here's another good one. Interest will now be 0.5%. And previously they had said not more than 4%. The economic injury disaster loan many of you guys applied for, that's at 3.75. This one is going to be at 0.5%. Payments will be deferred for 6 months. However, the interest at that 0.5% will continue to accrue over this period. And no changes here. It does look like you will be able to combine or refinance an existing SBA economic disaster loan with, but what we will say is with the changes that are going on to the Paycheck Protection Program, this is something you want to develop a strategy around to make sure you're making the right moves here. The EIDL is a much longer 30-year AM. This one potentially is 2. So you're going to want to really chart out what realistically your forgiveness components could be if you were to do the payroll component of the loan as well as rolling in an EIDL. So now this is going to be something you're going to want to spend some time thinking over, mulling over, and creating a good strategy there. So just food for thought. And still there will be no prepayment penalties. No big changes on who qualifies for an eligible recipient. Most small businesses we work with, it should be in good shape there. And as long as you've had a financial concern based upon the COVID-19, which almost everybody has, you should be able to apply for this loan, again, to try to keep your people on payroll. No real change on how the proceeds can be used. You can look there and see payroll costs, health insurance benefits, interest on mortgage obligations. You can't pay down principal, interest on other debt obligations, rent, utilities. No changes there. How's the loan determined? Okay, this is another big change here, guys. Is in the past it said for a period beginning on when the loan was originated. The application form that you put in says your average total monthly payroll payments for 2019. We interpret that to say that you look at 1/1 through 12/31/19 when you're filling out your application, and that is going to be your average payroll amount times 2.5, and then any disaster loan taken out after 1/3/20 and refinanced into this note. Again, your bank should be able to help you, or they will be calculating out the 2.5% amount based upon the documents you provide. No big changes here in what's included in payroll. However, what we wanted to bring up is what we are hearing is that any self-employed or independent contractors will likely need to file for their own PPP loan. And when we asked a follow-up question with a banker, they indicated they felt like partners in a partnership would probably have to file for their own PPP loan. Again, we don't know that for sure. There needs to be better guidance forthcoming, but that's just what we heard from some of the bankers that we work with who specialize in SBA. Hang tight, and we'll see how that shakes out. No big changes in what's not included. Again, you can only include up to 100,000 of somebody's annualized salary. So, an average is $8,333 that can be included in the calculation. But again, the banks are going to be doing the calculation, so you just provide them the good data. The forgiveness provisions, really not much has changed there. You'll want to take a look through and see, as long as you spend that money for the next 8 weeks after you originate on these items, then you should be in good shape. No major changes there. It should be a pretty straightforward calculation, and you'll want to make sure you have good support to provide to your banker. Whatever is forgiven will be cancellation debt income, but does not appear it will be taxable. This is an interesting one. This was added in the guidance that just came out, is they do expect a very high participation in this. They want high participation. So as a result, they're anticipating not more than 25% of the total forgivable amount may be used for non-payroll cost. So in other words, interest, rent, utilities, when you're looking at the total loan, if you spend over, or if you're counting over 25% of those items to be forgiven, then don't count on it. You need to spend at least 75% of that on your payroll costs to not minimize the forgiveness provision there. The forgiveness limitations really haven't changed much. They're still going to be based upon the FTE, full-time equivalent. Right now in the application, it does ask you for the number of jobs. It's a pretty vague term. Really don't have great clarity on that, exactly what they're wanting there. But when it comes time for the forgiveness, we anticipate there'll be some good guidance on how you calculate out your full-time equivalent, so you can make sure you can run the traps as to which of the two dates, which again, to our understanding, have not changed, yields the better result. And then they still have the 25% reduction in total salary. You want to make sure that you're bringing your people back and you're not having major decreases in salary when you get this money. And again, you will be required to provide supporting documentation, payroll tax filings, check stubs, et cetera, to get that forgiveness. So how can I be ready? Guys, this is really crystallized over the last couple days. It's pretty straightforward. Fill out an application, get it to your bank. along with payroll data for 2019, payroll summary reports, they break down payroll benefits, vacation, health, all that stuff. Give them payroll tax filings so that they know that they can verify those numbers, and you need to make sure it matches up exactly what's been filed with the IRS. Our estimation, or our assumption, I should say, is that you will need to provide a 12-month P&L for 2019 so they can verify the health insurance, the retirement benefits, the other costs that they say are eligible to be included in the calculation. That's not listed on the application anywhere. That's just our assumption that they will need that to verify that the banks will. And then when it comes time for the forgiveness, guys, just have your most recent mortgage statements, utility bills, have all that stuff that you used in those 8 weeks period, the lease agreement, the lease payments. You'll want to make sure you can verify that with canceled checks and bills if they have them, or invoices. We do anticipate at some point you'll need to provide your tax returns to them, but have not heard that specifically. So guys, again, this is where we are today. And today is April 1st. And this is what we know right now. So we wanted to put it out to you guys so you could be proactively preparing, getting in front of your bank. Again, there's some decisions that are going to have to be made here. And so you'll want to sit down with your advisor. You'll want to sit down with any partners and really think through what makes the most sense for your business. When does it make the most sense to apply for this loan? And just make sure you chart out that it's spent for the right stuff, especially if you roll in an economic injury disaster loan. Guys, I hope you're doing good. I hope you find this helpful. As more information comes up, we will continue to put forth videos letting you know what we know. But in the meantime, guys, take care. Take a minute, fill out this application, talk about it with your partners, with your strategic partners, your accountants, your attorneys, whoever can help you as you try to make the right decision about when's the right time to take this money, what do you need to spend it on, and how do we try to maximize the benefit of it so we can get our people back on our ledgers and take care of them once this thing passes. Again, Bill Ladd, Duckett Ladd CPAs. Hope everybody's doing well. If you have any questions, just reach out to us. Take care, guys. Bye.